All right, today, Miss Nghi, what system are you going to present now?
I'm going to present about sensory system.
All right, go on.
So the human body possesses of two categories of senses, include the general senses and the special senses. The general senses are present in all animals and are essential for basic survival, including touch, temperature, pain, and balance. The
Hang in
special sense,
balance. That sounds like risky, like a lot of danger or something.
yeah.
I see.
Um,
Okay, please continue.
Next, we have the special senses, which are more intricate and found only certain animals, including humans. These senses include sight, hearing, taste, smell, and proprioception.
Mhm.
The
What is
sensory,
proprioception? What is proprioception?
that is the sense of body position and movement.
Exactly.
The
Okay.
sensory perception involves three categories, three fields. First is stimulus. A stimulus represents any change in the environment that can be detected by the body senses. For example, a sound wave serves as a stimulus for hearing, and light waves act as a stimuli for vision.
Mhm.
Next, we have the sensory receptors, which are specialized cells designed to detect specific stimuli. For example, the retina in the eye contains photoreceptors, which are sensitive to light, and the cochlea in the ear
Cochlea.
cochlea
Mhm.
in the ear contains hair cells sensitive to sound vibrations. Next is sensory perception. Perceptions entails interpreting and organizing sensory information within the brain. It is the process of recognizing the patterns and understand the meaning behind the stimuli and making sense of the information received. In sensory perception, there is a concept of just noticeable difference, or JND, which refers to a minimum change in a stimulus required for individual to perceive a difference. For example, if a person is presented with 2 cups of coffee with
Mm.
slightly different temperatures, the just noticeable difference for temperature would be the minimum temperature difference between the 2 cups that the individual could detect.
Like tactile touch, right? Tactile system, right?
Yeah.
Touch. Of course, it's a touch. So basically, when we touch the cups, well, the body, the hands will be able to realize differences in temperature, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, please go on.
Okay. Now we talk about the mechanoreceptors. The mechanoreceptors are sensory receptors specialized in detecting mechanical stimuli, including touch, pressure, and vibration. In the human skin, there are 4 primary types of mechanoreceptors that serve different functions. First is the Merkel cells, which is found in the epidermis, the outer layer of their skin.
Mm-hmm.
The Merkel cells detect
Mechanical
light.
receptors, right? Mechanical receptors, are you talking about, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, mấy cái bảo quan cảm nhận vật là về cơ học. Mechanical receptors, what does it do?
The mechanical receptors specialize in detecting mechanical stimuli, including touch, pressure, and vibration. In human skin, there are four types of mechanoreceptors. First is a Merkel cells, which is found in
What
the
what kind of cell? Merkel, right?
Merkel.
Okay.
The Merkel cells found in the epidermis. It detects light touch, such as feather touch or gentle breeze.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it provides information about the texture, shape, and pressure of the projects we touch. Next is the Meissner corpuscles, which is located in the dermis, which is the layer that beneath the epidermis. It is responsible for sensing fine touch, such as the touch needed for reading Braille. They also offer information about the texture and pressure of objects we touch, enabling us to perceive subtle, subtle differences.
Mm-hmm.
Next is Ruffini endings, which is located in the dermis.
Okay.
It detects skin stretching. It plays role in a sense of touch by detecting changes in skin position and providing information about our limbs and joint position. It helps us maintain balance and coordinate our movements.
Mm-hmm.
Next is Pacinian corpuscles, which is located in the deeper layer of the skin. It detects vibrations and deep pressure. It helps us to sense vibration produced by footsteps or machinery and provide information about deep pressure, such as the experience during a hug or a firm handshake.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the difference in the distribution of mechanoreceptors between glabrous and hairy skin. The glabrous skin or smooth skin can be found on the fingertips and palms. It contains high density of mechanoreceptors, which include Merkel cells and the Meissner corpuscles.
Yeah, wow,
The-
that's these things are really advanced. Cells, names, and these things are really advanced though.
yeah.
Okay. Well, it's good that you mentioned about sensory system because it's part of the nervous system.
Oh,
Nó là một phần của hệ thần kinh đó. Yep.
okay, cool.
Yes.
Um, so on hairy skin, which is found on the arms and legs, it has lower density of mechanoreceptors and it contains Ruffini endings and Pacinian corpuscles. There are also other receptors like chemoreceptors, which are receptors that respond to mechanical stimuli.
Mhm.
It, which it can detect various substances such as oxygen, carbon dioxide, or pH levels. There are two main types of chemoreceptors, the peripheral chemoreceptors and central chemoreceptors. The peripheral chemoreceptors found in the carotid and aortic bodies.
Aortic body
And
is actually on the heart itself, you know. Like aortic is aorta here, động mạch cảnh,
oh,
and it's the chemoreceptors are here. So what does it detect then?
it detects oxygen level and
Does
carbon
it detect
dioxide,
oxygen or CO2 level or both?
both.
Please, I mean, you need to really look carefully but because I think it's just CO2 level. As I remember, it was just CO2 level, but you need to check it out, okay? All right.
Okay.
Okay, please continue now.
Next is the central chemoreceptors, which is located in the brainstem, respond to changes in the pH of cerebrospinal fluid, which can indicate changes in blood carbon dioxide levels.
Okay.
Next, we have the thermoreceptors. These receptors are responsible for detecting changes in the temperature. There are two types, which is the warm receptors and the cold receptors. The warm receptors are activated by the increase in temperature, while cold receptors are activated by decrease in temperature. Next, we have the nociceptors, which are specialized receptors that respond to painful stimuli, such as extreme heat or cold, pressure, or chemical irritants. They are found throughout the body and responsible for detecting and signaling the presence of tissue damage or injury. Next, we have the baroreceptors, which are specialized stretch receptors that detect changes in the pressure within the body, such as changes in the blood pressure. The baroreceptors found in various locations, including the walls of the heart, blood vessels,
Heart. Baroreceptor are basically receptor to sense the change in pressure, right?
Yeah.
Okay, please. All right, you can
For,
go on. Yeah.
for example, when the blood pressure rises, the baroreceptors in the walls of the blood vessels detect the change and send signals to the brain, which then signals the heart to slow down and the blood pressure vessels to relax and widen, resulting in a decrease in blood pressure.
Okay, that's great. All right. So, what else about baroreceptors then? I mean, the main thing about baroreceptor is to sense the blood pressure. Basically, because blood pressure is really important for the organs. Because if the blood pressure is too high, it will basically slowly destroy the organ. You know that, right? Áp suất quá cao, áp huyết áp quá cao, nó sẽ từ từ nó làm hại đến những cái cơ quan cơ thể nha.
Oh.
Like very slowly, it destroy the body. So that's why high blood pressure people will almost always have some other things, have some other diseases, like for example, diabetes, like obesity, or any other kind of diseases. Nói chung là blood pressure cao á, nó sẽ dẫn đến nhiều thứ khác lắm. Almost always, gần như luôn luôn nó sẽ dính một số cái bệnh nó khác nữa. All right. What else then?
Okay, now I'm going to talk about taste and smell. The taste that human can detect include sweet, sour, bitter, salty, and umami. And the human
And money?
umami.
It was like money. Wow, the smell of money. Wow. Can you detect the smell of money? Mùi tiền. Well, actually, money has a smell. You know that, right?
Yeah, of
Ngửi thử đi, có
course.
mùi đó, thiệt sự. It actually has a smell, but it's not very pleasant. Nó không phải là cái mùi mà nó vui vẻ ha, thơm tho lắm đâu. Well,
Yeah.
it's the material that make the money, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, what you're talking about is umami. It's the taste of something that is delicious. Umami in Japanese mean delicious. Is it called taste receptor?
Yeah, there are primary tastes that human can detect.
Okay. I think new research have shown that there are actually more than 5 tastes, I think.
Oh,
I think new research have shown that there are more than just 5 tastes.
didn't know that.
Well, but main thing is just like 5. They didn't say that umami here, but umami is actually quite recent. They found it out within the last 100 years, I think.
Ah.
So what about?
Um, so the sense of taste, also known as the gustation, is the ability to detect and evaluate flavors of different substances. And taste buds, which are small cluster of sensory cells located under tongues and other parts of the oral cavity, are responsible for detecting taste. The taste bud contains around 50 to 100 taste cells, which are specialized sensory neurons that are responsible for detecting different tastes. These cells have hair-like projections called microvilli, which are coated in receptors that are bind to specific molecules. When a substance is tasted, molecules of a substance bind to these receptors, causing a change in the electrical charge of the cell. The change in electrical charge triggers an action potential, which signals that travels along the taste cells to the brain. In addition to the taste cell, the taste bud also contains supporting cells and basal cells. The supporting cells help to maintain the structure of the taste bud and provide nutrients to the taste cell. The basal cells are stem cells that can divide and differentiate into new taste cell. The process of cell division and differentiation helps to maintain the sensitivity and function of the taste bud over time. Next,
Okay.
I'm going to talk about smell. So human can sense around 10,000 scents. The sense of smell, also known as olfaction. This is the ability to detect and evaluate odors. It is mediated by specialized sensory cells called olfactory neurons, which are located in a small patch of tissue in the upper part of the nasal cavity called the olfactory epithelium. Each olfactory neuron has a single dendrite, which extends from the cell body and is coated in hair-like cilia. These cilia are covered in receptors that bind to specific molecules known as odorants. When an odorant is inhaled, it dissolves in the mucus covering the olfactory epithelium and binds to the receptors on the cilia. This causes the change in the electrical charge of the olfactory neuron and triggers an action potential. That signal will travel along the axon to the brain.
Right. So it's actually the brain that process those signal, right? Are you talking about that?
Yes.
They will process those signals, and then slowly the brain will try to give an appropriate response, right? Một cái hồi đáp phù hợp nào đó, right?
Yes.
Well, I found a picture that looks a bit weird. Sweet, salty, umami, sour, bitter, something like that here. Okay, please continue now.
So, in addition to the olfactory neurons, the olfactory epithelium also contains the supporting cells and basal cells, like the
Yes.
yes, and the supporting cells help to maintain the structure and provide nutrients, and the basal cells are stem that can divide and differentiate into new cells.
Cái basal cell nó nằm trên da phải không, Ethan? You're talking about the basal cell on the skin, right?
No, it's in the mouth.
Basal cell in the mouth. Basically, oh, you don't want to see those pictures. Ugh, disgusting. Anyway, basal cell are basically a very common name for the kind of cell that will differentiate, that will how can I say, proliferate. Nó sẽ gọi là sinh trưởng, proliferate. And they will differentiate, nó sẽ phân chia ra, nó sẽ trưởng thành, phân chia, biệt hóa ra thành nhiều loại cell khác nhau. Okay, but basal cell, it's a common name for a lot of cells from different places in the body, you know. Có rất nhiều nơi nó có basal cell nha.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Like one thing I can talk about basal cell is on the skin, and of course mucous membrane, cái màng nhầy ở trên miệng ha. Mucous membrane. All right, what else?
Hmm. Next, we talk about the hearing.
So the ear, yes.
Yeah. So hearing allows us to detect and evaluate sounds in the environment, including speech, music, and other noises. It is mediated by specialized sensory cells called hair cells, which are located in the inner ear.
Okay, we have outer ear, middle ear, and inner ear.
Yes.
3 phần, tai trong, tai giữa, tai ngoài ấy. Okay, so the detection is basically at where the cochlea are called, right? Cái chỗ xoắn ốc này là cochlea. And the detection of the signals are here. And it goes through the vestibulocochlear nerve, right? Cái thần kinh giữa cái chỗ vestibular là phát, cái chỗ này thực sự là để phát hiện ra được cái vị trí của cái đầu nữa đó. Because they're inside the cochlea, you have water, right? And then based on the level of water, you can detect like the position of the head. Cái vị trí cái đầu quan trọng nha. The position of the head, which is the most important thing in the body, is very important. And the water level inside the cochlea will tell the brain where it actually is compared to the ground, right? Nếu so sánh với mặt đất thì là cái chỗ, cái nước trong cái cochlea này nè, nó sẽ định vị được cái vị trí của cái đầu. Okay, anything else you want to add about it? Hello?
Oh, maybe the Wi-Fi is not very good.
What do you mean?
I think my connection is wavering.
It's wait, what?
It's not good. It's just
All right, just tell me what exactly you have found and things like that. I can add more information about.
no, nothing else.
Yes.
Okay. So now I talk about the structure of the ear.
Go on.
So it consists of outer ear, middle ear, and inner ear. The outer ear is comprised of the pinna,
The what?
which is the cartilaginous structure. It collects and funnels sound waves into the ear canal.
Canal or canal?
Canal?
Canal, nhấn âm hai nha. It's canal. Okay.
Canal. The ear canal is a tubular passage that amplifies the sound wave as they travel toward the middle ear. The middle ear contains the eardrum. The eardrum is a thin membrane that vibrates in response to incoming sound wave. Behind the eardrums are 3 tiny bones called the oxicals. The 3 bones are malleus, incus, and stapes.
Yeah.
Respectively.
Stapes or stapes, I think stapes. 3 cái
Stapes.
xương ở bên trong cái 3 cái xương ở cái tai giữa. The 3 bones in the middle ear. stapes, something. I don't remember the name of those things though.
Yeah. These three bones help to amplify the vibration and transmit them into the inner ear. In the middle ear, there's also the Eustachian tube that connects the middle ear to the throat, which its role is to equalize the air pressure on both sides of the eardrum. Now, the inner ear. The inner ear consists of the cochlea, which is responsible for converting sound wave into electrical signals. The cochlea has spiral shape and it is fluid filled. It contains tiny hair cells along its length. So when the sound wave travels through the cochlear fluid, they cause these hair cells to bend, which generate electrical signals that are transmitted to the brain by the auditory nerve. So the conversion of sound wave into electrical signals that brain can interpret as sound is when a sound wave enters the ear, it travels through the outer ear and into the ear canal. Canal.
Canal. Cái kênh trong cái tai, canal.
Canal. The sound wave then causes the eardrum, a thin membrane at the end of the canal, to vibrate. Then the vibration of the eardrum are transmitted to the ossicles, which are the three bones located in the middle ear. The ossicles amplify the vibrations of the eardrum and transmit them to the cochlea. As the vibrations travel through the fluid in the cochlea, these cause the hair cells to bend. The movement generates electrical signals which are transmitted to the brain by auditory nerve.
Auditory nerve, right?
Yeah. The
Exactly.
brain interprets.
Sorry. Okay, please continue.
So the brain interprets these electrical signals as sound and process the information depends on the pitch, volume, and location of the sound. That's it.
Are you sure it's all about it? So the ear, did you talk about the nose already?
Yeah.
Olfactory something?
Yeah.
Okay, and the mouth, perception of taste, and mechanoreceptors, and what else?
I didn't
You
talk
sure it's
about
everything?
I didn't talk about vision because I didn't prepare it.
Vision, about the eye, right?
Yeah. But I didn't finish preparing it.
Okay, you need time for it now?
Yeah. I don't.
Okay, please, go on. Talk about the eyes and whatever is related to it.
So vision is the process by which brain interprets the images that the eye sees.
The images.
Images that the eye sees.
Mm-hmm.
The eye is the organ that is responsible for capturing light and converting it to electrical signals that the brain can interpret.
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 Mm-hmm.
The eye has several different parts. There is cornea. Cornea is the outermost layer of the cell, providing protection to the internal structure. It composed of 5 layers. The layers are the epithelium, the Bowman's layer, stroma, the cement membrane, and the endothelium. Next, we have the aqueous humor. After passing through
The aqueous what?
Humor.
Humor, cái chất dịch mà có chứa nhiều nước. Yeah, aqueous means watery. Humor means like a kind of fluids, liquid. That is mostly of water. Yeah. Chất dịch được tạo ra phần đông là nước, từ nước.
Yeah, it is a clear fluid that provides nutrients to the cornea and lens and helps maintain the eye's pressure. Next, we have the iris and pupil. The iris contains two sets of muscle, the sphincter pupillae and the dilator pupillae. The sphincter pupillae constricts the pupil in response to bright light. The dilator pupillae dilates the pupil in response to low light. Next, we have lens. The lens is held in place by the suspensory ligaments, which are connected to the ciliary muscles. When these muscles contract or relax, they alter the shape of the lens, allowing it to focus light from
Yes.
light at various distances. Next, we have the vitreous humor.
Vitreous humor.
Vitreous humor. After passing through the lens, the light travels through the vitreous humor. It is a clear gel-like substance that fills the posterior chamber of the eye. It provides the structural support to the eye and help maintain its shape. Next is retina.
Retina. Nhầm đầu nha. Retina.
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 Retina. Retina contains millions of photoreceptor cells called rods and cones.
Rods and cones. Tế bào hình que, hình nón. Rods and cones. The rods and cones.
Rods are responsible for vision in low light condition and are more sensitive to light, while cones are responsible for color vision and work best in bright light. There are 3 types of cones, each sensitive to a different range of wavelengths, corresponding to the color blue, green, and red.
Okay. So the lens of the eye acts like a convex or concave. It's convex lens, right? Đóng vai trò như là một cái gương cầu lồi đó. The lens of the eye acts just like a convex lens. So basically, it concentrates the visual information to the retina. Cái ảnh nó phải đọc lại cái retina nha. So the image or the sensory information has to end up in the retina, and then that over the retina, the rods and cone cell will send the signal back to the optic nerve to the brain, right?
Yes.
We also need to mention that the left eye will be controlled by the right part of the brain and vice versa, right? Nó có một cái kiểu mà bắt chéo á. So you know which part of the brain is responsible for vision? Which one? Which lobe, thùy nào của não chịu trách nhiệm cho vision, you know?
I think the front.
No, it's wrong. It's the back of the brain. Nó gọi là occipital lobe, thùy thị giác. Occipital lobe at the back of the brain, okay?
Okay.
That's why when people got hit at that part, they lose vision. Bị đánh vào chỗ đó tự nhiên bất tỉnh, mất đi cái tầm nhìn là vậy đó. And what else should you mention about the eye then? Tears, nước mắt chẳng hạn, tears. Like tears are actually a protection mechanism to prevent the cornea from drying out, you know.
Oh.
Nó phòng ngừa cái cornea, cái giác mạc á, nó phòng ngừa cái giác mạc bị khô đi á. And also tears are useful when you are in your exam and want to beg for mercy. I'm just joking. Of course, I'm just joking. Okay. Tears can be used for a lot of emotional events, you know, những sự kiện đầy cảm xúc cần với nước mắt. But most of the time, the tears are there for protection of the cornea, remember, against the environment. Remember, the cornea is exposed to the environment. It means a lot of dust, bacteria, viruses, a lot of things, right? So it needs to be protected with tears. Nó phải có cái lớp tears nó bảo vệ nó nha. Okay, what else
Okay.
then? What else then?
I think that's it.
Diseases of the eye you will learn later. But most of the time it's short-sightedness, cận thị, and far-sightedness, viễn thị, and something. Astigmatism. Astigmatism, loạn thị. Okay, and so I think that those three. Okay, are you sure this is the end of your talk now? Did you
Yes.
prepare anything else?
No.
Okay, then maybe we should end here.